has our favourite Chinese multi-hyphenate man about town been up to this week? Find out on the Yibo Weekly. Well, friends, it's been a full week. There was the racing in Shanghai, and that took a lot of oxygen this week. And there were a couple of other things, but we started the week with the GQ cover spread with 1 million photos being dropped, and some of them were amazing. And so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to show them to you. Why don't we have a look now? Okay, well, we'll just take a moment to calm down. Now, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. So the big deal this week was racing in Shanghai. It was the first race meet for the China GT Championship for the year. Yibo raced in both races and on both days. Didn't make the podium this time, which on reflection, I think is good. I think it actually would have been good for everybody if this had happened at the very beginning, to allow us to actually appreciate how much progress that he's making. The difference this year to last year is that enormously more racing teams have registered for the racing this year. They'd been on the GT circuit had been on a bit of a decline. And a lot of the high-level races, Chinese races, don't race in China. They race internationally, but didn't bother to race in China last year. And this year, they're back. So there was hugely more teams, more people at the racetrack. It was like quite a big event. For those of you who watched some of the races last year, it was some of them really didn't feel like more than kind of like a country sort of B tier kind of level. This past weekend in Shanghai was not that. It was very competitive, and a bit like the 8-hour race. The 8-hour race in Shanghai, the endurance race at the end of last season, which was much more competitive than the general competition throughout the year, and I think this is more like that, even maybe more so. So I didn't actually watch the races because I had a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I didn't have the time or the emotional bandwidth. But I can report to you what happened because I found out later. During qualifying, they didn't do so great. They did quite well in the practice rounds in terms of times, but they didn't do so great in the qualifying, and they ended up quite far back in the grid. During the first race, Yibo made contact with another car and got a penalty. And the way it works with GT is you get a time penalty. So he got sent back to the pits, and he had to wait there for a length of time, which was his penalty. And then he could go back into the race. And his quickest lap was the lap immediately after he got out of his penalty box. And it was, I'm not going to say the numbers because it's like, it's all about like fractions of a second, the difference between the different things. And it just doesn't mean it. It's not meaningful to me, except like, it's faster. So the lap, his fastest lap in the race was the lap immediately after his penalty, and that was faster than any of his laps in competition last year. They finished 21st overall and 7th in the amateur class. That was on the 18th. And then day 2, there was another race, and the starting grid for that was based on the results from day 1. So he was way back in the pack. They were way back in the pack on day 2. And his fastest lap on day 2 was faster than his fastest lap on the first race. So again, a personal best in competition. And he overtook 6 cars during the second race. He finished 16th overall and 4th in the amateur category. So not on the podium, but just off the podium. And still improving, and he just looked like, all of the footage looks like he was having an absolutely amazing time. All of the sponsors posted enormously about it. Red Bull posted about it. Helly Hansen posted about it. Undefeated posted about it. They all had like stuff happening at the track. One of his friends from Street Dance of China was spotted at the track, like as a guest, like in the team sort of area. Duhua was there as well, and she posted on her kind of personal Weibo of shots of her and the racing team. So she's still obviously getting along with Yibo well enough, despite everything that everybody says. I mean, he keeps signing with her company. I'm sure he's not as angry with her as most of the fandom is. So I just find this eternally amusing. But anyway, we won't talk about that. So yes, there was lots of stuff happened with the race. And the other thing that happened during that time when he was in Shanghai, the Xiao Ao, I don't know how you actually pronounce this, the toy, like Labubu-esque kind of toy. They're supposed to be wolves, I think. So they've kind of they're like fluffy, anthropomorphic kind of like little monsters with plastic insert faces. And the range has 7 different characters. They had like a launch of them with Yibo, with a race car, not his 85 racing car. It was like a Xiao Ao car. And he was in a racing suit, which wasn't the same racing suit as the one he actually wears racing, but it was a more stylized one in black. 7 different little toys, each have like little personalities, and they're part of, like, one's like a mechanic and one's a driver and one's a fan and like, the whole thing. And there was a video package, and they had a stall at the racetrack. They were selling them. They're apparently being sold. You can buy individual ones, or you can buy blind boxes. I'm not going to get my hands on one, I don't think. So my information about this is somewhat sketchy. But yes, this is a Yuhua product launch that Wang Yibo has kind of made himself the face of. So he's married. He's married to them. He's been with them for a very long time now, and it seems as though he's staying. So like I hope that works out for him. I hope that turns out to be a good decision. There's all sorts of entertainment world management shenanigans going on at the moment, and Yuhua for once doesn't seem to be the butt of it. So, you know, maybe it is better than it might have been. Another thing that happened over the weekend in Shanghai is Yibo posted on his own Instagram, and he kind of reposted stuff that other people from racing had put out. He also he followed 9 more new accounts, and they're, as far as I can tell, they're all racing related ones. Some of them are fellow drivers not from racing, so presumably people that he rubbed shoulders with at the race meet at one level or another. A number of the other professional racers actually posted about thanking Yibo for the way that his, involvement in that sport has really increased its visibility and popularity and resources. So it seems as though the GT racers are embracing him in a way that I think the motorcycle racers never really did. I hope they learnt their lesson from what happened with the motorcycle racing and that they won't go that way. Yes. So Yibo's followed a whole bunch of new people, and I just really hope that this is bringing him joy. He did look very happy. As you may have guessed, the racing is not really my first passion. I think I've basically said everything that I have to say about it. So why don't we move over to brand stuff? There were quite a few campaigns launched by different brands during the week. A lot of them connected with the racing stuff because it was actually very high profile. As I said, it had a lot more attention this year around, a lot more people involved, a lot more attention on it. Castrol brought out a video with Yibo. As far as I can tell, they're not actually a racing sponsor this time around, whereas they were last year. But anyway, it was, obviously the hook between Castrol and the racing is very clear. They brought out this very confusing ad to me with Yibo carrying a horse, like its beautiful black horse, which then of course turns into a car. But blah blah blah. Yeah, Castrol with the horse, awesome. Tempo had a couple of new videos out this week, in one of which we have this beautiful shot of Yibo like sprawled on a bed, which, we all love. You love to see it. Master Kong had a couple of videos, one of which was a full-on like old school TV advert with a story and acting. So that was fun to see. Anta put out an edit video for 5 years with Wang Yibo, celebrating 5 years together. They have actually got a promotion that I saw on Weibo just this morning that they're starting, and that they'll be launching the next couple of days. So there's going to be more stuff coming out with Anta this coming week. Banana Inn had a number of beautiful pics and a couple of short videos. Helly Hansen put out another. They were at the racing and they had a bunch of stuff that was like racing at the track, but they also put out a series of pics yesterday. Beautiful pics of him out running in the wilderness, beside the water, in the grass. It was just beautiful. And then Tai Ling had a promotion connected with Earth Day, which it is today, actually. They ran it a couple of days early because they were running it in the lead up to Earth Day. And it's Earth Day today, which I, was reminded because I went on Weibo first thing this morning and there was a video of Yibo talking about Earth Day. So thank you, Wang Yibo. Happy Earth Day, all the little earthlings out there. The last piece of brand news is last night it was pre-announced that there is a new endorsement on the way. And it took my breath away a little bit. Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee is the direct competitor of Coddy Coffee. In fact, Coddy Coffee was launched because the founder of Luckin Coffee got pushed out by a corporate sort of maneuvering, and he decided that he wasn't going to go gracefully and started up a competitor, which is Coddy Coffee. So, wow, I'm sure the people at Coddy Coffee aren't super excited about Yibo is going to be endorsing Luckin, but I hope he made all the money in the world. And that is should be launching this coming week. So there's something to look forward to. Look, I am not 100% certain what's coming up in the future. Who knows? There'll be more racing. They said that the final post about the Shanghai weekend said, see you next time at Ningbo. So there'll be more racing coming up, but not like this week. We've got a movie that apparently is coming out this year, I've heard. I'm looking forward to whenever something actually might be announced about that. Otherwise, enjoy Earth Day. I think I'm going to go out with one of the pieces of video from GQ. Oh, or should we have a look at that Master Kong vid? Because that was really cute. I'm in two minds. I don't know. Maybe we'll run both of them. I hope you're well. And I hope you have a wonderful Wang Yibo Wednesday.
电工他马上来。
可算来了。